Hey, this is John Campbell from Lamb of God, and you're watching CMS TV.
It is Chris Aiken Presents, and I, of course, am Chris Aiken, and I am really excited about this one. I love the music here, and I'll get to that in a second, but if for no other reason, these guys win Album of the Year for the album title of the year. My goodness, what a title. Kill Star, Black Mark, Dead Hand, Pierced Heart.
It's ridiculous, right?
It's craziness, man. But the band is Kill Ritual, and here to talk all about it is the guitarist of the band, Mr. Stephen Rice. Steve, how are you, man?
Good, man. How you doing, Chris?
I'm great, man. And like I said, dude, I told you this before we got started. I love the record, man. This thing is an ass kicker. And for those that are not familiar with Kill Ritual, if you are just like standard, traditional, pounding forward metal, this is it. It's not thrash or death, and it's not hair metal. It's that groove thing right in the middle that just punch it. Judas Priest Painkiller-esque, I guess, but not vocally, but you know.
Not bold. No, I don't know. That's just me. You know, it's just like my favorite bands are everything you just mentioned. You know, I love just the classic traditional metal stuff mixed with a few modern influences, but yeah, it's perfect.
Absolutely, man. Well, dude, let's dig into this record, man. It's fantastic. It's just this, what is it? 9 songs. They're all killer. There's just no filler in it. It is just one after the next, after the next. I'm going to assume a lot of this aggression came out because, like everybody else, you sat home for a while with the pandemic and had a lot of anger, right?
It just gave me ample time. Being the guy that writes, the material and stuff like that, just to kind of write, and just like get it done. I write a lot, so I kind of like bounce around tunes a lot, and I kind of demo a lot of material and put stuff together and all. But yeah, I just it just felt good, and for me it's always like just a progression of just keep writing tunes, weed them out. Sometimes I combine tunes, sometimes I do whatever. But it just getting some really cool material that just had, like you said, like hopefully that doesn't have too many weak spots. I mean, for me, it's a hard listen for me to listen to because I'm critiquing my stuff all the time, thinking about things I could do better. But I think that it's a pretty solid record with tempos and feel and all that kind of stuff. So
no question, man. Well, dude, writing wise, you write a lot about the disillusion of society, and you have for the decade that you guys have been doing the Kill Ritual has been around. Do you think it's forever broken? Or do you write with the hope that maybe if you expose it, then maybe people will try and figure out a way to fix it?
Well, based upon the lyrics, it seems like, that I'm coming from a very, negative attitude and stuff like that, but I'm exactly the opposite. I'm a very positive person because I always just look at things as like, every day, got to make an effort and be positive, move forward. Looking back is, you can look back and reflect on things to maybe learn a lesson, what you can do in the future. But for me, it's always about just fitting, a certain lyrical content with the music and kind of reflecting what's happening, but never coming from such a negative aspect that, it's unpositive. I always think there's always a little bit of light and a little bit of up in our music along with the heavy stuff. So
Sure.
it kind of like gives you that, that positive feel sometimes. So.
Right on.
Yeah.
Now, I just got to ask the question. Are you a news guy or are you turned off the news guy?
Well, I'm going to say that, I'm pretty much a guy that, I do pay attention to what's going on, and I am, kind of, I'm pretty, political, and I'm pretty opinionated when it comes to stuff. And, I try not to express it too much.
Sure.
In the music, because I don't think it's important for people to really, have that pounded down their throat. It's not a YouTube type thing. It's not like, just like a Green Day type thing. It's
Sure.
more like it's like, hey, I just kind of make my commentary on stuff, and you can read between the lines on a lot of our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like a tune like Get in Line. That's kind of my personal opinion about the whole, way that the whole COVID thing happened, about, kind of forcing opinions on people about how that was handled. Whether you agree with it or not, it's up to you to decide. But to me, it paralleled a lot of, like, I don't know. Maybe our label would be happy, but I kind of had, like, in my mind, it's like, like the Nazis lining up the Jews and, like, just like putting them on a train.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of concept where you kind of take people's choices away, which is, I think is uncool. Personally, myself, I got vaccinated. I did all the things, that because I felt it was right for me.
Sure.
To do that, because of my health and whatever else. But I would never make the decision for anybody else, because I just think that's unfair. So that's just an example. So yeah,
Sure.
I'm a pretty opinionated guy when it comes to that stuff. But I won't force it down your throat. I'm not going to sit there and ask you questions. Just like if you want to ask me about religion, if you want to ask me, then I'll tell you.
Right.
And we'll go from there.
No question, man. Well, dude, obviously, man, since we're sort of pandemic-y, and I'm not going to get into the pandemic as much as I just wanted to ask, with this release, obviously it was written, at least some of it was written through the pandemic. Were you able to get together and write and record together, or did you have to do it the more modern way of, here's an idea, email it to you, you email it back, send me your drum part, I'll send you my guitar part. Did you have to piecemeal like that, or were you able to still get in a room and kind of feel ideas out?
We're definitely kind of a piecemeal band, because our singer lives in Florida.
Okay.
Bass player lives in Connecticut. Our drummer lives in Idaho, and I'm here in the Bay Area. So kind of what you see in the background here, that's kind of like my little home studio where kind of everything gets put together. So
okay.
Basically, just the way we do things is that I'll write a batch of songs, I'll demo them, I'll put them all together, start the formalization of lyrics and concepts, and then I will get together with the drummer, and we'll go up and we'll kind of rehearse things a little bit, and then we'll go and we'll record all the basic drum tracks, and then I'll get the vocals in, and he will do vocals at my house, and I got a pretty good setup here, and then. And once we get everything kind of tracked and put together, then we move on to the mixing stage. And I've been working with Andy LaRock for a long time now, so
sure,
he's pretty familiar with my material, and I trust him to get it done. He always does a great job. So it's just it's a pretty easy process from us to go from point A to point B once we get rocking and get the material together.
Right. Dude, I got to ask, how in the world do you form a band with guys all over the place? Were you all together at one point and everybody moved? Or?
No, it's interesting because when I first formed the band Kill Ritual after my last band, disbanded, Imagica, and then they got back together again. Anyways, but once I moved on that, I kind of started with with a bunch of local guys, and it progressed. The local guys was enough to get our debut record out, whatever year that was, I can't remember now. And we were able to get that done. But then as the band kept moving forward, kept releasing, kept building up our reputation and who we were, people just dropped by the wayside. So, and I didn't want to always be limited to just local guys, man. So, you know what, man, there's a big world out there. There's no reason because, you know, with, like you said, modern technology and the ability to, you know, just, you know, kind of like, you know, work together, you know, remotely. I said, hey, man, let me just broaden my horizons, just you know, deal with everybody. And It just worked out that I got guys, you know, from here, there, and everywhere, and that's it.
Yeah, no, and you're so right, dude. I mean, look at what we're doing right now. We're doing this. You're in San Francisco. I'm in Cleveland, and we're having a conversation like we're in the same room. So, you know, I guess
Browns fan.
I am.
I've been, you know, not that I'm a big AFC guy because I'm an NFC guy with the Niners and stuff like that. But I've always said, you know, man, the Browns got to have a year, man. One of these years, they just got to have that year where they get it done. Well, it was nice to watch them beat up on Cincinnati. So
I loved that, but I'll tell you what, dude, I'm 54 and I'm still waiting for that year. It's been a while, man. Yeah. But you know, but dude, obviously, man, a lot of good things happening with your band Kill Ritual. Now, I want to go back about a year ago. You guys released "I Will Be Done," the EP, and I'm gonna be honest. Just from me hearing it. It sounds different than this. And I don't know if it was just you were in a different headspace or a different creative space or not, or maybe it's just me over listening and trying to hear something. But it feels very different.
Yeah, it is totally different. I think that's just the kind of the way that, you know, that I am. I mean, like even like whatever's going to happen, you know, with us doing another release, next one, it's going to be different than this record. I'm going to guarantee it. It's just how I write. If I'm in a particular direction or whatever else, I just kind of go there. I think the EP was kind of a combination of stuff that we had left over from the previous release we did. We basically had a record completely done and ready to go. Then COVID happened, and we're just like, shit. Now what are we going to do now?
Right.
I mean, we just came off doing a big, you know, U.S. tour with Ice Earth and Sanctuary. We went into a new record, and we were just planning on, like, you know, keeping that ball rolling. Then the whole world shuts down. We're just like, shit. Now we got a record that's just like, do we hold on to it for like 2 years?
Right.
Which is kind of like, by that time, you're just like, dude, I don't even want to release this thing anymore because I've already, you know, I've mentally moved on.
Sure.
So we had some leftover material after we released that record, and just kind of filling in space, man. When we didn't know what we were doing, we said, hey, you know what? Let's just do an EP. 3 of the songs were stuff that we recorded for the previous record, and I wrote 2 new ones. And the 2 new ones that I wrote were kind of like more, you know, a little bit more thrashy, maybe because I was just in a pissed off mood. I had to sit there and, you know, spend time at, you know, not doing like, you know, touring and stuff. So it was just the way it was. But it does sound different. It has a different feel. Totally.
Yeah, it definitely does. Now, was the last one on the same label, or was that was just a digital only, right?
That was a digital only thing. It came through Blood Blast, which is Nuclear Blast is kind of digital distribution network, and we did it with them. So because it was just kind of like we just needed to get a record out, you know. I mean,
right.
You know, I just felt I just always feel we need to move, you know, forward. So. People will, you know, I look at it this way. People will eventually, even if we put something out, it takes people a while to find it. They will eventually find it. If it's good, they're going to like it. So that's just the way it is.
Right. So, and you know, the unique thing is if people are finding the band, I would imagine you, even now, 10 years later, 10, 11 years that you guys have been a band, people are still discovering the band. And now they've got plenty to go back to and listen to. So
definitely. I mean, we're not one of those, we're never going to be one of those bands that's just going to hype ourselves and do a bunch of bullshit, you know,
right.
Crap to make ourselves look cool. You know, I'm not going to be dyeing my gray beard just so I can look cool, or put a wig on my half bald head. You know, it's just not going to happen, dude. I mean, I'm going to play the music I want to play, and it's just got to be organic. If it's not organic, if people don't pick up on it, whatever else, and then, you know, that's fine. But, you know, I'm just not going to do that. I just don't feel comfortable with that kind of shit.
Right.
So it's not going to happen, you know.
Dude, look, we're all in our 40s, 50s and up, and we're not 20. There's no reason to pretend we are.
No, I think that's ridiculous. I mean, I'm cool with whatever age I am. I just I look in the mirror and I just go, holy shit, what happened? You look like crap, but I mean, it's all right.
Right.
What am I really going to do about it?
Exactly, dude. Well, I'll tell you what, man. Why don't we take a little break here? We'll give people a taste of the music. One of the first videos that you put out there was "The Whore of War." Why don't you maybe tell us a little bit about this song and about the video to lead into it?
Yeah, even I had this song written and lyrically and everything, even before the whole bullshit with Putin and the Ukraine and all that crap. It kind of it's just about, just how, I don't know, man, it's just, men just can't keep their dick in their pants. I mean, they just gotta whip that thing out and smack it on somebody's face, but just to be an asshole, just because, and it's just not cool. And I think it's like, I totally support, the armed services, the people that serve their country, especially in the U.S.
Sure.
And that's super important. We need these people, but the glorification of war, the glorification of violence at that level, it might sound romantic and might look cool on movies and shit, but it ain't cool, man. It ain't going to be cool when you're getting your face blown off. And I think that anybody that's ever been in those kind of situations will tell you, it's a horror. So, and this is just about how war is a mistress and how it kind of entices people to think that's really cool to go there, but she'll sell you out, man. You're going to end up on the shit end of the stick on that one. So
yeah, no, dude, I could tell you from experience, man. When you're over there, I was in Gulf War I, and yeah, hey, and I mean, thank you, but I didn't get any glory out of riding through the desert hearing bullets hitting off of a APC. All I got was, man, I hope they don't find a way in this thing.
Yeah. Dude, it's great you survived that. I mean, it could have done shit for you, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Consequences for a long time from that, but that's awesome. And like I said, it's like, I think it's like my son, he entertained the idea of joining the military, and I was like, hey, dude, that's I think it's a great choice, a great way to serve your country, great career. I think there's nothing wrong with it.
Sure.
But war is war, man. So
yeah, well, I think most soldiers would tell you they're not. You talk to people, you talk to vets, none of them are saying, "Oh yeah, we got to have another war, man." Nobody's saying that.
Nobody's saying that, man.
Let's prepare everybody right now for war with the Whore of War. Let's check it out. It is Kill Ritual right here on Chris Akin Presents. Right back here on Chris Akin Presents with me, Chris Akin, and we are talking to guitar Steve Price of the band Kill Ritual with the album title of the year, Kill Star Black Mark, wow. Dead Hand Pierced Heart. There he is. Nice, man. Well, dude, let's dig right into this record a little bit, man, because there's definitely some stuff to unpack here. Talk a little bit about, I know you mentioned when we started about that you write all the time. Do you write for yourself, or do you write with the thought of how it's going to sound when you distribute it to your band?
Okay, it's gonna. I'm going to say that it's going to be all about me.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, I write with what I think is going to work, and I think it's going to sound good and whatnot. I think after all these years, I have a pretty good idea of what's going to work. So, but by the time I hand it off to the guys, it's pretty well constructed. It's pretty well put together, and I demo things kind of. I build them up where they're like very orchestrated. A lot. When I do the keyboard parts, I do all the stuff that I put on the tunes. It's pretty much all there in the demos. So then when I handed it, but I never composed drum tracks, which is weird. So I composed everything to a click track.
Oh, wow.
No drumming, because I don't like to lock into a particular groove or, drum thing where I just become just totally fixated on it. I like to be surprised. And I think it's really cool that the drummer, is able to, because he'll play things that I would never imagine that I would do, or I'll end up writing a drum track that'll be just like completely unplayable for him. He's like, dude, I mean, come on, man, this is ridiculous shit. You know what I mean? Where it's just
right.
So I like taking that direction. And then when I work with the vocalist, it's basically I just come up with a lyrical concept, come up with ideas. I have a basic melody and a basic structure, but then I let him do his thing, man. Because it's like, that's his job. I mean,
yeah.
Our singer doesn't. He hasn't written lyrics in the last couple records, and nothing. I think he's incapable. He just, I don't know. He wants to, and I think I have no problem with that. And I mean, that's my least favorite thing to do is write lyrics. But but I think that once we get to the point with that. But anyway, so everybody has their little, their say so and whatever else, and for me, if it sounds good, it is good. So just let it roll.
Right on, man. Now for Killstar, were you guys on a schedule, or did you put together the record in like completed and then go and find, work out the deal with Massacre?
No, we were actually on a schedule, so we had to get it done by a certain time because we had put the deal together with Massacre after we did the EP.
Okay.
So we had to come up with the record was already in process, and it was already demoed, it was already written. I wasn't worried about writing. I was more worried about completion, recording, mixing, all that kind of all that bullshit. So I just once we got that done, we just finished the record. It was down to the last minute because I had to deal with Andy's schedule. I mean his studio is always busy. He's always doing bands. He's does a lot of work. So I had to fit it in a certain amount of time, and like anything else, we had some shit show bullshit crap that that went south, and we're able to fix it all. But that's just that's rock and roll. So that's the way it is.
Right on. Working with Andy, and he's obviously known for some great work of his own. How you're a creative person that I could tell comes with a full idea. When you start working with somebody else, they always want to change your idea, no matter who they are, whether you're close with them, whether you're not. That's just the way it goes. Everybody hears it a little bit different.
Yeah.
Regardless of his resume, is it easy for you to say, nope, that's not what I'm doing. This is what I want to do?
Yeah, I think the thing that probably keeps me working with Andy is was the attractive thing about him in the beginning when I been working with him since my last band, Magica. Yes. He takes a record and then he doesn't try to fit it into like a current sound or whatever else. He just takes it for what it is and makes it work. And he just makes it sound as good as possible, takes the source material and just ties it all together. He'll make suggestions and he'll have his opinion about stuff, but most of the time he's right. And I think that for me, he's not really changing anything too much. He's just saying, "Hey, man, this is shit. Maybe redo this." And he's probably like, dude, when I listen to it, you're probably right. Let's restructure that. But he's never like changed my arrangements. He's never changed my lyrical content or my guitar playing. He probably wants to, but he's probably going, "Oh, this guy's a hack, man. I mean, I could play better than this guy." But
nice.
He's probably right, but anyway, but no, he's never tried to force anything down my throat. His criticisms always been like, "Hey, Steve, next time you record this, maybe you should do this a little bit better." Or maybe he has a very passive aggressive way of saying things. It's always constructive criticism, and I'm cool with that. But so I'll probably tell him how to record the next King Diamond album because
yeah, sure. I'm sure he'll listen there, right?
I don't know if King Diamond's going to be cool with that, but I'm just going to let him know right now. I wrote a couple songs that Andy says that he wrote, but I didn't. I wrote them actually.
There you go. Nice. Well, dude, let's dig into I always tell everybody my favorite track and ask them their opinion on it. This one was such an easy one for me. It's the title track, which that never happens for me. I usually I usually am not led there, but I love this title track. That giant riff that you have, it reminded me in some ways of like Rain of Fire from Armored Saint. It's got that powerful gallop to it, and it's just a cool, big, epic metal raw song, man.
Right.
So tell me a little bit about this song.
You're talking. We're talking with the satanic intro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. When I look at that, I don't know what got into me. I was like, you know what? I had the riff and everything, and I feel like I'm kind of like a closet black metal fan. So I listen to a lot of black metal stuff, like old school stuff, like Dark Funeral and Marduk.
Sure.
And, and I just love that kind of riffing. And I'm like, well, I'm not really going to go in that direction because that's just not our style. But
right.
I do like some of the concepts and whatever. So I said, let me just write some kind of cool riffing. And I came up with that whole concept of the satanic ritual in the beginning. So basically the song is about, and it's just what I just conceived in my head. I mean, in the lyrics, it's about this girl that was born into, a cult of Satanist witches. But to rebel against her family, instead of, normal kids rebel, she actually joins the church and becomes a nun.
Okay.
None for there's actually a church called the Church of the Pierced Heart of Jesus. So that's where the pierced heart thing comes from.
Okay.
So she joins the church to rebel against her family and stuff like that. But then she finally realizes that, that no matter what, she's already got the mark of the devil. She is going to be what she is, and she can't run away from her history and whatever else. And that became the concept for lyrically about how she just has to go back to what was originally there. And it was, I don't know, it's one of the concepts. To me, I have when the song, it has it kind of has a really cool, like in the middle breakdown with the solos. Reminds me of Merciful Fate.
Yeah.
Who I'm a huge fan of, and it has that kind of feel, and it just has that cool little tremolo picking on the guitar and stuff. But it's a cool concept. I mean, and the reason why we chose the album title is because of the chorus of that song. It's just like, Kill Star Black. I'm just like, oh, that's a really kind of a cool chorus. Maybe we should use that for the title of the album. And then I'm like, oh my God, that's a really long title.
No question, man. Well, dude, obviously, man, it's a great song on a great record, and it is Kill Star Black Mark Dead Hand Pierced Heart. I got it right. Fantastic record. It is Kill Ritual. The album is out on November the 18th. And Steve, where should we tell people to go to get the record and keep up with you guys and any touring and all that kind of stuff?
You can find us everywhere. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify. Probably the best place to go is probably to Massacre's website, because Massacre has all the links for all the platforms where you can get our stuff.
Okay.
So it's pretty simple. It's pretty easy to find. It's everywhere. We have a limited edition red vinyl. We have a limited edition black vinyl, and then we have a CD, and then you can also do the downloads. And by the way, gang, the vinyl looks fantastic with it's like I just got them, a few days ago, and it's always nice to see, since I'm an old fuck. It's nice to see an LP with that big cover, pull out the insert, it's got the lyrics on it with the pictures. I mean, it looks really cool, especially with the red vinyl. Sounds great. So it's pretty awesome, man.
Very good, man. Well, one more time, the album is called Kill Star Black Mark Dead Hand Pierced Heart. It's a mouthful, but it's worth filling your mouth with, because it is an excellent record. It is Kill Ritual. And Steve, I figured we'd wrap this one up with playing the video for By the Hand of God. So what can you tell me about that one to wrap this up?
This song, it's obviously the opening track. It's it's got a good, cool groove and a good, impact in the beginning. This song is just basically about religion. It's actually, kind of the Crusades. That's why there's, kind of warring stuff in the video. It's just about how both sides, feel that they're right and they're fighting for God. And, and it's just about how they're both wrong. they're just fighting for other people that just want power. So, and it's just about how the guy, in the end, he realizes that, in this life, man, we walk alone. we die alone, and you have to decide what that means to you about, if putting your blind faith in something is actually going to be a good idea.
Very good, man. Well, it is Kill Ritual. It is By the Hand of God. Check out the album Killstar, Black Mark, Dead Hand, Pierced Heart on November the 18th, but go ahead and pre-order it now. I'm sure they won't mind. So get that. And Steve Price, thanks so much for joining me here on Chris Akin Presents.
One more